Hello.
Hello, hi.
Hi, how are you?
How are you today?
Fine, thanks. And you?
I'm okay, thanks. Okay. Okay, so it's the same rules. Okay, just a second, I'll be back, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, let's see the camera. Okay, on 30.
Hello.
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 Okay. How are you today, Ines? And how are you, Malak, today?
Fine, thanks.
Okay, let's go to our book. No, this is the first edition. We have the second edition. Okay, I think you should be able to. Can you see the book now? Can you see it?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, good. Ines, can you see the book?
Yes.
All right. Did you see the lesson that you missed, Ines, from yesterday? The last lesson? No, I don't think you saw the last. Did you see the last lesson, Malak?
No, you don't put it in. You don't
Yes.
send.
Yeah, I didn't upload it. No. Okay, but I think you missed only the last part, Malak, right? The last, I think, 10 minutes, maybe 7 minutes,
Yes.
8 minutes.
The internet is very bad that day.
Yeah. Ines, did you see? What's the last lesson you saw? Ines,
Maybe the internet.
I didn't see anything.
can you see the book?
Yes, I see the book now.
But I mean, what's the last lesson you saw? The last lesson you watched?
I didn't see the lesson.
Okay. All right. So let's have a quick revision. Let's talk about this lesson and the things we discussed last time. So let me quickly remind you. So in this lesson, what we talked about was relationships, I think. And we talked about a wedding, and we talked about the roles that people play. Of course, in our life, we have different roles, right? So we can be, for example, my roles. I'm a son, I'm a brother, I think a son and a brother, maybe a friend. I'm what else?
Uncle or
No, I'm not an uncle actually, not yet. So I'm not. No, none of my siblings is married, so I'm not an uncle yet. But I am a nephew. So here you can understand we play different roles in life. Okay, Ines, do you understand the idea of roles?
Yes.
Yeah. So we talked about this in our last lesson, and we divided the relationships into family relationships and to other relationships, right? So you have family relationships like, of course, mother, father, aunt, uncle, stepfather, nephew, niece, you know? All of these are, of course, family relationships. But we also have other relationships like flatmate, like close friend, maybe colleague, employer, excuse me, employee, you know? These are other relationships, maybe related to your, maybe related to your professional life, maybe they're related to work, or maybe they're also personal, but not family. Do you understand? Do you get the point, Ines?
Okay.
So we talked about this in our last lesson, and we also discussed how we can add the words ex. So we can say ex-husband, ex-wife. We can say ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend. So we can say ex with words like this. And we can use the word step for stepbrother, stepsister, stepfather, stepmother. So what does it mean, Ines, to say Ali is my stepfather or my step uncle or my stepbrother? What does it mean?
He considered my brother from my just from my father.
Correct. صح. That's absolutely correct. Yes. If I say my stepbrother, it means he's a brother from.
Also, I have a step brother and a step sister.
Okay. Yes. Usually, if your father is married maybe to two women, or
Yes.
if your mother, if your biological father died maybe, and your mother married another man, this is also, you can also have a stepbrother or a stepsister. This is the meaning. Okay,
Yes.
so you understand it perfectly. Very nice. And we also have grand. This is clear, I think. Grandfather.
Yes, grandfather.
Granddaughter, grandson, right?
My father's father or my father's mother.
Yes, this is great grandfather. Great grandfather. If you say great grandfather, this is of course the father of your grandfather, right?
Yes.
But we also say great uncle. So your great uncle maybe is the brother of the brother of your grandfather. If he's still alive, you can say this is my great uncle or my great aunt. So when you say great uncle or great aunt, this means you're talking about the uncle and aunt of your parents, not your uncle and aunt, of your parents.
Yes, yes.
And the last one, the last word we talked about was in-law. So the sister of your husband is your sister-in-law, right? And the husband of your sister, he's a brother-in-law, and the mother of your husband is your mother-in-law, right? So in-law means from marriage. These relationships are they come from marriage, in-law. So we talked a little bit about this in our last lesson. Malak and I, we talked about this. We also did a little bit of listening, and we saw the story here about Jake's wedding. This man, you see Jake, he's the groom, right? And this is Diana. Diana is his bride. What's the difference between groom and husband and between wife and bride? What's the difference? Do you know the difference?
No.
All right, so we have similar words. We have bride and groom, and then we have husband and or wife and husband if we want to keep the same order. What's the difference? Who can tell me?
It means a bride and a groom in the party, in the wedding day.
Correct, Malak. So,
And
continue.
after that, after maybe 1 minute, a month or 2 months, they can be a wife and husband.
Maybe not even after 1 month. After the wedding, they become husband and wife, right? So during the wedding itself, the wedding day or the wedding week, they are called bride and groom. Even Libya, we do the same thing, right? During the wedding, we say عروس عريسة, عروس وعروسة, right?
After the party.
Yes. عريس شنو؟ عريس
عروسة وعريس.
عروسة وعريس, yes, I forgot it. عروسة وعريس, yes. This is what we call them before they get married. I mean in the wedding itself, this is what we call them.
Yes.
But بعدها خلاص يبدأ راجل ومرأة, يعني راجل ومرأة, right?
Yes.
And there's another word we use. This is before the wedding. We say fiancé and fiancée. What's this?
When engaged somebody.
Correct. Yes. When they are engaged, but they're still not married, right? So so you can talk about the man you are engaged to. You can say he's my fiancé for men. And if you want to talk about women, we say she's my fiancée. Fiancé, fiancée. I think these are French words, originally from French.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about this, and we talked about the wedding party and the people who came to the wedding party. And of course, Jake is the groom, Diana is the bride, and all these, Patrick, all the men, Patrick, Eric, Rupert, Charlie, and Dom, all of these are the ex-boyfriends of Diana. So they came to the wedding. Maybe Naomi is her friend. So this was the story from last time. Okay, so now we are going to continue. So we did the listening, we finished the listening, we talked about the guests, and we've had some information. We did a little bit of syllables. Sorry, not syllables, superlatives. So we talked about superlatives. Remember, Ines, in the lesson when we talked about comparatives, do you remember?
Yes.
So in this lesson, we talked a little bit about superlatives. It's not very different. It's the same, maybe, except that instead of saying more, we say the most, right? So if you want to talk about long adjectives like boring, popular, beautiful, interesting, right? These long adjectives, we just use the most. So you can say, she's the most beautiful, he's the most interesting, they are the most popular, right? So this is how to use superlatives for long adjectives. But for short adjectives, we can just put est. He's the richest man I've met. She has the biggest house I've seen. She's the happiest person I've met, right? We just put est, that's all. All right, and of course we talked about good and bad because these are irregular adjectives. So we say the best, this was the best wedding in my life, or the best wedding I've been to. So good changes to the best. The superlative of good is the best. And the superlative of bad, of course, is the worst. This is the worst day in my life. This is the worst day, right? So, so we talked about this. So here we have a nice summary. We did this. And we agreed that if you want to use a superlative, Ines, you have to use the. So in part B here, the question is which word is missing? Of course, the word is the. You have to say the when you use superlatives. Very important. Except in one situation, there is one situation where we don't use the with superlatives. All right, can you tell us which situation, Malak? There's a situation where we don't use superlative. Do you remember?
Yes.
Okay, maybe Ines, you know it.
Okay.
Can you tell us, Ines, when we don't use the for superlatives?
When compare for one by one.
Okay, that's تبقى نتدوي على الcomparatives. في الcomparatives ما فيهمش the صح. لكن لو ندوي على superlatives, only the superlatives. So there's a situation where we don't use superlatives. Okay, so Malak, maybe you can give us an example.
Okay. When we use possessive pronoun,
correct.
We don't use superlative.
That's right, but can you give us an example?
Okay.
Not only possessive pronoun, but also if you have possessive s before it, right?
Okay, okay. Just like it's my bag. When you say my, it is the oldest. Just like it's the oldest bag I have.
Okay, so here if you don't use possessive, يعني لو استعملتها من غير my هتضطر تقولها ذا ولا خليك تقول مثال
It is my oldest.
ذا. It's
bag.
my oldest bag. Okay, so in this example you didn't use, but if you say this is غيرها مثلا ديروها بطريقة ثانية.
The oldest
if
bag.
you say this is the oldest bag I have, right? So the meaning is the same if I do it like this, but of course when I do it like this, I didn't use the possessive. ما استعملناش الماي. Ines, do you get the idea what I'm trying to say here? لا لو تلاحظي في المثال الأول اللي استعملته منك استعملتنا الماي اللي هي للبوزيسيف للملكية. لما استعملت الماي ما عادش نقدر نخشوا ذا. قبل المفروض كان مع كل superlative كان ضروري حسب القاعدة, the one in part B here, the rule was that you have to use the. This is the normal rule, right? But because we used a possessive, here, so we don't use the anymore, okay? And even if we do it with a possessive adjective, for example, okay, maybe Ines, can you think of an example with a possessive adjective? A possessive S, sorry.
It is your.
Okay. It's your. أجمل خاتم.
Most beautiful.
Correct. صح.
It is most beautiful ring.
Very good. That's correct. It's your most beautiful ring. زي ما لاحظت هنا ما عادش في إمكان للذا. في حالها الطبيعي كان المفروض لازم كان في ذا قبل most. The most beautiful ring. But because you used your ما عادش تمشي. Sometimes you don't even use ما فيش يعني مرات تحتاجيش حتى تستعمل your. نقدر نقوله مثلا this is إيناس's. رأيت كيف استعملت possessive s هنا. This is Inas's most beautiful ring. Maybe she has other rings, but this one is the most beautiful one. So this is Inas's most beautiful ring. And we can say that is Malak's oldest son. Well, not daughter, مثلا. All right? So here, حتى oldest ما درناش قبلها ذا. Because عندنا the possessive s. Do you get the idea?
Yes.
فهذا يعتبروا الاكسبشنز الوحيدات اللي ما نستعملوش فيهم the. Otherwise, you have to use the with the superlatives. بصفة عامة لازم استعمال the. Okay? فهذه ممكن المعلومة الجديدة اللي أخذناها maybe. فهذه الفكرة. Okay. And we also did this exercise. We wrote the comparative and superlative. So let's do this again very quickly. So here, Ines, I'd like you can do the first group from number 1 to 6. I'd like you to tell me what are the comparative and superlatives of this, and then Malak can do the second part, comparative and superlative. So you're going to do both comparative and superlative. Okay, so you can start, Ines.
Intelligent, I put it in sentence.
No, just to give me the comparative form and the superlative form.
Intelligent, more intelligent, most intelligent.
The most intelligent.
The most.
Good, correct, صح. Number
busy, 2. Busy, busier. The busiest.
Right.
Fat, fatter. The fattest.
Good.
Popular, the most popular, more popular.
Okay.
Good, best, better.
What do we use with best?
The best. Helpful, the most helpful, more helpful.
Right, excellent. This is the idea, correct. Okay, what about the next group, Malak? How do we do these words?
Okay. Bad, worse, the worst. Selfish, more selfish than, more most selfish.
Is it
The most
must?
selfish.
Is it must or most?
The most selfish.
Okay.
Taller than, the tallest. Thinner than, the thinnest. Lazy, lazier than, the laziest.
Can you say it again? The last one?
The laziest.
Yes, the laziest.
Laziest.
Right.
Farther than, the farthest.
Correct. Yes. Okay, so this is just an exercise to practice comparative and superlative. Now, Malak and I, we also finished number 8, but I'd like you here, Ines, here we want to use the superlative, okay? So in this exercise, only use superlative, okay? Don't use comparative, only superlative. And the question says, use the if necessary. So maybe you need to use the in some of them, not all of them, but maybe some of them. Okay? يعني مرات بيقابلوك طبعا لو جاتك possessive s ولا جوك هذوك possessive adjectives زي my, your, our, of course you can't use the. لكن لو ما جوكش you have to use it, okay?
Okay.
All right, so number 1.
Dania is one of the youngest company director.
Right. Okay. Number 2.
Her partners are happiest.
You forgot something.
The happiest.
Right. Can you repeat it again?
Her parents are the happiest married couple I know.
Okay.
Dania is most organized person I have ever met.
Again, please.
Dania is the most.
Yes.
Dania, the most.
But what kind of S is this? Is it S possessive or is it S verb to be?
I think this is verb to be.
Correct. It's not possessive.
Dania is the most organized person.
Correct. You're right. Okay, next one. You can continue, Ines.
She's also my boss's. My boss is
Here, is it possessive S or is it verb to be S? Right.
is also my boss's. I think possessive.
You're right.
I don't know.
Let me remind you of your example, the one about the ring.
Most good friends. Most is the most.
Can you Ines, can you go back to exercise 7? Go back a little bit to exercise 7. Can you give me superlative and
is best is best friend.
okay. So we only use best, right?
Yes.
Very good. So we say she's also my boss's best friend because we have
Jack
possessive S. Okay, yes, number 5.
Jack is the most helpful person in the world.
Correct.
Is also the world's worst driver.
Good. So number 6 is like number 4, right?
Yes. This is the most important day of his life.
Right. And the next one?
And he is wearing the most expensive shirt.
Try again.
And he is wearing the most expensive shirt.
Is that correct?
What?
I think there's a mistake.
Mm-hmm. My most.
Yes.
My most expensive shirt.
Correct.
Without the.
But why? علاش نحن the here? What's the reason? Why did we remove the?
Because we have my.
Yes. Because we have a possessive adjective. My,
Mm-hmm.
my, your, our, right? If you have
Yes.
any of these adjectives, or if you have possessive s like buses, worlds, we cannot use the anymore. Okay? So this is what we talked about last lesson. هو هذا كان مجمل الحصة يعني. So we talked about this. Malak and I finished this, and I think we can skip this. It's about a family tree. Okay, now let's talk about. Excuse me. Here we have family business. All right, so we're going to learn something interesting and I think important. Here we're going to learn how to use adjectives and how to use prefixes. I think we talked about prefixes before. Did I talk about prefixes and suffixes?
No.
No.
No, that was in intermediate.
In jobs, just in jobs, you talked about that.
What did I
Career.
say? In career?
Yes, we add some letters. Maybe doctor or R.
Yes, yes. تكلمت عليه معناها. Yes, I remember. Yeah, it was in this level. Okay, so a prefix is anything you add. So we have something in English called, in vocabulary, we have a prefix and we have a suffix. What's a prefix? What's a suffix? So a prefix is maybe a few letters that you add to the beginning of the word and it changes its meaning. So you have possible, but if I put the prefix IM, yes. If I add IM to possible, I will change it completely, right? It will become impossible, the opposite. Because I added IM. But not all adjectives work in the same way. Some of them we can add IM, no problem. Like, for example, we can say possible, impossible. We can say patient, impatient. We can say moral, immoral. So some of them, yes, يمشي حالهم بالIM. لكن في ما يمشيش حالهم بالIM. Some of them with DIS, right? So sometimes.
Agree or disagree?
Yes.
Agree.
Very good. Agree, disagree.
Disagree.
Agree and
Agree,
disagree.
disagree.
Like and dislike.
Very good. Like and dislike, the same. Like and dislike. And some of them we use UN, like usual. And what's the opposite?
Unusual.
Unusual. Right? Helpful, unhelpful, happy, unhappy. So it's different from word to word. لكن بصفة عامة, all of these, the additions that we use in the beginning of the word, these are called prefixes. من اسمها pre, قبل, before, okay? But sometimes we have the addition in the end. If the addition is in the end, we call it a suffix. So we have words like happy. If I add the suffix ness, I change it, and of course I have to remove the I. I change it from an adjective, happy, سعيد, I change it to a noun, سعادة. So this ness, the addition of ness, this is called a suffix. إنها جت في الأخير تعتبر suffix. لكن بالنسبة لي مثلا اللي هي like, dislike, هذه this كانت في البداية. You get the idea?
Yes.
So
yes.
if it's in the beginning, prefix. If it's in the end, suffix. In today's lesson ما عندناش موضوع suffix اللي في الأخير مش شغلنا. Maybe in another lesson we will talk about it more. So in today's lesson we only have prefixes, okay?
Perfect.
Yeah, only the prefix, الجزء اللي في بداية الكلمة. And we can see examples. We have we have in, we have im, we have this. So of course they're different depending on the adjective. هيختلفوا من كلمة لكلمة. فهذا تركيز حصتنا. And we are going to continue talking about families, of course. All right. So let's talk about the first exercise here. So the lesson is called Family Business. So let's find out what it's about. So let's discuss these questions. It says here, do you watch or listen to soap operas on the TV, the internet, or the radio? If yes, which ones? Okay, first of all, let's agree on what do we mean by soap operas? Do you know what it means? Soap opera? Malak, do you know what it means? Soap operas? A soap opera? Have you heard of it?
Long series?
Yes, yes. It's not like a musical opera, because a musical opera is different. A soap opera is like a very long series. You know, like
I don't know.
do you know what are the famous Turkish series now on television? Do you know their names? They always
No.
have
Yes.
they always
حريم
have
السلطان.
yeah حريم السلطان. الحب الممنوع. You know, they have funny names. They have
Yes.
these kind of names. I don't know the names, but بصفة عامة كل المسلسلات المدبلجة اللي هم بالستايل هذا in English they call them soap operas. They're not normal series. المسلسلات العادية يسموا فيهم يقولوا لهم series وخلاص. Like for example the ER. Do you know the series ER, or do you know the other one House MD about the doctor? Do you know that series?
No.
Yeah.
I don't watching TV.
You don't watch TV a lot. Okay. So المسلسلات العادية بصفة عامة يقولون لهم series يعني سلسلة أو مسلسل وخلاص. لكن النوع المعين هذا الدرامي أو العاطفي اللي هو إحنا عندنا المسلسلات المكسيكية، المسلسلات التركية المدبلجة. You know, these are called soap operas in English. So it's a mix of drama and maybe romance, relationships. You know, this is usually the idea. Okay, so this is the meaning of soap opera. So the question is, do you watch or listen to any soap operas? Malak, what about you? Do you watch any soap operas? Do you watch any soap operas, Malak?
Yes.
Okay. Which ones do you watch?
حريم السلطان.
All right.
ابنة السفير.
What else?
العشق الأسود.
They always have these funny names. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, these are examples. These are examples of Turkish soap operas. But 20 years ago, Mexican soap operas were more popular in Libya, right? You know, like Shinkan Anna, Marimar, and the other one, Cassandra, you know, the very old one. And what else? You know, Maria, do you remember Maria?
Yes.
Yeah, these are Mexican soap operas from Mexico. Okay, فهذا المعنى soap operas. All right, what about you, Ines? Do you watch any soap operas? Do you like soap operas?
No.
No, you don't like soap operas. Okay,
because I think it is very tall.
They're very long. I agree.
Long.
Yeah,
it is very long.
Very, very, very long, and the events are very slow.
Will be boring.
Yeah, they take a long time. You're right. Yes, maybe in 5 episodes, the only thing that happens is someone leaves the house in 5 episodes, and then in the next 5 episodes he comes back home, right? So it's so slow.
It's boring.
Yeah, I agree. I don't watch them either. But
I don't like boring series.
You don't like boring things. Okay.
Ines, حريم السلطان, it is not boring.
It is very boring, like a صغر.
It's learn new a lot.
Yes, you can learn lots of new things. You can learn how to control your husband, Ines, after you watch.
Yes.
after you
Yes.
watch Harim Sultan. Okay. All right. So I think in number 2, which soap operas are popular in your country? I think now maybe Turkish soap operas are number 1 now. Maybe also a little bit Korean, but not so much now. Maybe Turkish are more popular than Korean. But also there are also many Korean soap operas, I think, now. Have you watched any Korean soap operas, Malak, from Korea?
I don't like Korea or any Korean
You don't
series.
like
I don't like.
Asian TV from Asia. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now the question here, number 3. What is
Because
what?
I have son.
Because what do you have?
I have 3 children. Like always like watching cartoons.
Yes.
So I have no time to watching TV or any series.
Me too.
Even.
Me too. But on the internet, Ines, I watch on the internet.
Yeah. On the internet, yeah,
I
you can
don't
watch
have
everything.
time. I don't have time.
Yes.
Okay. Now, number 3. What are typical stories in soap operas? What are the usual stories in soap operas? What do you think, Malak and Ines?
I think. Do you mean the main aid? Main aid?
Main idea, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, here we want to know what are the typical scenarios
Maybe
or the things.
historical, maybe social.
No, I'm not talking about type. No, I'm talking about the usual themes or scenarios that we find in soap operas. What is the thing in common? شنو الشيء المشترك بيناتهم في العادة? Any type, any from any country. What is usually
Talking about social life.
okay? Correct. Yes, it's about social life.
And problems in the families and I don't. That's
I agree. Also problems in families.
yes, or criminal.
Sometimes there's crime. Yes.
Um,
What else? But there's always romance, right?
yes.
Yeah. And there's always children who nobody knows where they came from. Who are their parents? Nobody knows. This is always the same thing I think in soap operas. There's always a child, but nobody knows who the father is, right? This is I think in every soap opera they have to have a child where nobody knows who the father is.
Yes.
I think this is typical.
That's in the past, but I think now there are something interesting in the story.
You think?
Yeah, I don't like to watch anything. Yes.
Maybe there are some interesting ideas.
I choose what I see.
No, for me, I like things which are a little a bit more psychological. You know, like there's this famous series now from Netflix. It's a German series. It's called Dark. Have you heard of it? Dark, Malak?
No.
It's a German series. So the language is German, but of course there are subtitles. You can download English or Arabic subtitles easily. But it's very, very complicated. It's very confusing, but it's confusing in a nice way. You know, it's they play on time. So sometimes you don't know, are they in the present? Are they in the future? Are they in the past?
Yes.
It's a little bit science fiction, of course. It's science fiction. It's not a realistic drama, but I think it's interesting. But of course, this is completely different from soap operas. Soap operas, I agree with you. It's about everyday life, about social life, family problems, relationships, mothers, fathers, lovers, husbands, wives, children, you know? It's about usually about this, I think. And sometimes they are historical, like Harim Sultan, it's historical too. So it's like two in one. There's history and the social drama. All right, okay. Now, let's move to our next question here. In number 2, it says, read the first paragraph of the article. Just the first paragraph, then complete these sentences. Okay, so let's take a look at this first paragraph. Okay, so I'd like you to, both of you, I'd like you to read this little paragraph, and then we'll answer a few questions about it.
Okay. I finished.
Okay. Did you finish this part, Ines, too? This little introduction, the first paragraph?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's see a few questions about this. So the first question, it says, family business is, what is it? Exactly.
Family business is the company, or from this paragraph?
Yeah, from this paragraph, the first paragraph. What is it?
Is a restaurant?
No, the restaurant is called Full Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Start from the beginning.
Radio drama.
Yes, it's a radio drama.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's actually a soap. It's a soap opera on the radio, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because in the UK in the past, sometimes some of the soap operas are also on the radio, not only on television. Here in Libya, because we don't listen a lot to radio, I think we're not used to this. But in the UK, yeah, you can sometimes find programs like this drama series on the radio. Okay. All right. So
Okay.
so family business is a popular radio drama. So it's a soap opera on the radio, or you can say a radio drama. Okay. So number 2, the Blake family owns a restaurant, or the Blake family own a restaurant called. What's the restaurant called in the show? What's the name of the restaurant they own?
Phone.
Correct.
The
Yeah.
phone.
The Full Moon restaurant.
Full Moon. The Full Moon restaurant. This is the name of their restaurant. Okay. Now, number 3, there's also another restaurant called. What's the other restaurant's name?
Angel.
Yeah.
The Angel.
Yeah, the Angel. Angel
The Angel.
is. Yeah, Angel is the other restaurant. It's the competitor. What does competitor mean? The competitor. Do you know the word competitor?
منافس.
Correct.
منافس.
صح. Competitor. Competitor منافس, yes. So the Angel is a new competitor of the Full Moon. Okay. Number 4, the family's main problems are, what are the problems that the family has? What are the problems?
Money problems, and
Correct.
relationships between the family members.
Yeah, I'm getting
Are,
worse. Yeah.
Yes, are getting worse every week.
Right. So it means the 2 problems that the family has is money and the relationships between the members. Yeah. So the mother, the father, the children, they're not getting along. So they're having problems. Okay, let me show you the questions here. So we have number 1 to 8. I'd like you to read the questions first, Malak, and then after that we can read the story. Okay, we can read the rest of the article. So just read the questions first. When you finish reading number 8, just let me know, okay?
Okay. I finish.
Okay. All right, so let's see. Okay, so let me take you to the article itself. Let's see if I can show you the whole thing together. Okay, I think you can. Okay, so Malak, I think you can, let me go down a little bit. Okay, so now you can see everything, okay? So you will start from, on the left, from Lydia Blake. This is the first character, okay? So I'd like you to read about all the characters, and after that we can go back to the questions, okay?
Okay. Yes, I finished.
Okay, so let me take you to the questions. So, is the Full Moon Restaurant successful?
I think no. I think no. It's not successful. Restaurant.
It's not?
Mhm.
Okay. Do Lydia and Clive have a good relationship?
No.
Okay. How many children have they got?
3. 3 children.
Okay. And has Trudy got a job at the moment?
No, she hasn't
Okay.
got.
Mhm. Which of their children is a criminal?
I think Darren.
Darren is a criminal, okay.
Mhm.
And when did Nick leave home?
Nick left home a year ago.
Mhm. Okay, and who are Elizabeth's parents?
Elizabeth's parents, Kathy and Darren.
All right. Where is the Angel restaurant?
It is as the full moon last. It is in the same street as the full moon.
Right, that's it. It's in the same street. Okay, so we have some details or some information about the characters and about the show, I think about the series. Let's move on and let's do some other questions. So here we have a little bit of a vocab exercise. So here we want to find the opposites of these adjectives in the article. Let me read the adjectives for you first. So we have patient, considerate, honest, reliable, employed, mature, helpful, selfish.
Mhm.
So in the article, you have the opposites of these adjectives. And all the opposites are made, of course, using these prefixes.
Okay.
These 4 prefixes. So you have some of them with an, some of them with in, im, this.
This.
Yeah, and you're going to put them in the right group. So maybe I can take you back to the article, and whenever you find one, just let me know so we can mark it or we can talk about it. Okay, so let me take you to the article. I wish I have an idea. Okay, and I have an idea so we can see it at the same time. This might be a good idea. Okay, just give me a second. So this way I can, do you have a book with you? Do you have the book?
Yes. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Okay, so if you have the book, no need. We can do it easily.
Mhm.
So this means you're going to look in the article, and then each adjective you find in the article, you will tell me about it, and I'm going to write it in the right place, okay?
Okay.
So of course, the opposite of patient is impatient.
Impatient.
Yeah, so we already have that here. What about considerate? Can you look for the opposite?
Inconsiderate.
But where is it in the story?
It is in the Trudy. No, not Trudy. When we read, it is in Clive Blake. Clive
Yeah,
Blake.
the one about Clive, yes. Mm-hmm.
Clive Blake, yes.
Yeah, so he's talking about Lydia.
Impatient and inconsiderate.
Correct. Okay, so whenever you find an adjective, just tell me,
Yes, okay.
give me the sentence. But so this
Okay.
inconsiderate. Correct.
We have dishonest.
Yeah.
Dishonest. It is in Darien. The line before the last one.
Okay.
In Darien.
Yes. Can you read it? You don't have to tell me where it is.
Okay.
Just
The
read
most dishonest and incredible, unreliable.
Unreliable.
Member.
Okay. Then we have reliable. What's the opposite?
Reliable. It is unreliable. It's at the same line. The most dishonest and unreliable member.
Can you say it again? The pronunciation?
The most dishonest and unreliable, reliable
Yes,
member
that's
of
it.
the family.
So you should say
Unreliable.
can you say it like this?
Reliable. Reliable.
That's it.
Reliable, yes.
Okay. Now you just need to say it a little faster, and that's it. And in the negative?
Unreliable.
Yes. Unreliable. Reliable.
Unreliable. Reliable.
The L, the lie is before the R. Reliable, not. Don't put the R before the lie. So reliable.
Reliable.
And the opposite?
Unreliable.
Yes, unreliable. Correct.
Okay.
All right. Employed. What's the opposite?
Employed. Unemployed.
Correct. Unemployed.
And yes, it is in. It is in Trudy. Trudy is unemployed. Trudy is unemployed.
Yes.
Unemployed.
What about mature?
Mature.
Yeah.
Immature. You
Good.
said that, yes. Immature.
Yes.
It is in Trudy. She's immature, moody, and unhelpful.
So helpful, the opposite is?
Helpful.
What's the opposite of helpful?
Unhelpful. We add
Yes.
un.
Correct. Selfish.
Selfish. Unselfish.
Where is that?
It is in Cathy. Cathy is quite easygoing and unselfish.
Okay. All right, so these are all the adjectives from the story about the soap opera. What do you notice from this table?
The must thing is un.
Correct. So we use un. Un is a common prefix for adjectives, right? It's a common prefix to show us the opposite of an adjective. So this means if you're stuck or if you see a new adjective and you want to make it into the opposite, even if you're not sure, maybe you can try with un, right? Because statistically, un is used maybe a little more than the other types of prefixes, okay? Okay, now what about the box here in part B? It says here, do you know the opposites of these adjectives? Let's see these adjectives in the box. So we have...
Unhappy.
Okay.
Intelligent.
What do we use for intelligent?
Unintelligent.
Okay.
Unintelligent.
I'm not going to say right or wrong. I just want to know.
Okay.
And then we can check them.
Polite. Impolite.
Okay.
Ambitious. Maybe unambitious.
Okay.
And friendly. Unfriendly. Possible. Impossible. Attractive. Unattractive. Correct. Incorrect. sure, unsure, organized, I don't know, maybe unorganized,
Okay.
Healthy, unhealthy.
Okay. I think most of them are correct, but I think maybe one or
I
two
think
are.
organized, maybe wrong.
Yes. What's the correct one for organized?
I don't know, maybe organized or disorganized.
Maybe you're right. Let's check. Okay. So let's look for the opposite. Can you see the table here? Do you see the group of an? Can you see the malak? Hello, are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, can you see the adjectives on the here on the bottom right? Can you
Yes,
see?
I hear
All right.
you. Yes. Mhm.
What do you see?
Unreliable, it's right. Unemployed, unhellish, unhappy. Yes, unintelligent, it's right. Intelligent. Mhm.
Next one.
Inconsiderate,
No,
unambitious,
Mhm.
unfriendly, yes, unattractive, and unsure, unsure and unhealthy. Where is organized?
The bottom.
This, yes, disorganized. Maybe it's right. All of them right. Yes.
I think all of them right, except maybe disorganized.
Except yes, organized. Yes.
The rest are
Disorganized.
they're all correct. Yes.
Yes, all of them. I read them before, but organized no.
Yeah. Okay. What about the tips? We have some nice tips here in the bottom. Can you check them?
Okay. Adjectives beginning with C usually take the prefix N. Correct, incorrect. Wow.
Okay.
Adjectives beginning with P usually take the prefix M. Impatient, yes. Patient, impatient. We can't use prefixes with all adjectives. We say not very bright, not unbright. We can use un to make opposite of some verbs. Pack, unpack, lock, unlock.
Okay, so you can clearly see from the
I
table.
don't understand the third one. We can't use the prefix with all adjectives. We say not very bright, not bright.
Yeah. So point number 3, they're telling you that not all the adjectives can be changed into opposites. You understand? Some of them, yes, like reliable, unreliable, happy, unhappy. Okay, no problem. But some adjectives you can't use a one word. You can't add a prefix. You get the idea? You have to.
But what does that mean? We say not very bright, not unbright.
Okay, so bright,
Bright.
we use bright when we talk about students sometimes. If you want to say a student is smart or intelligent, teachers sometimes use the word bright. So we can say the student is very bright. So bright means intelligent, okay?
Okay.
But if the teacher wants to use the opposite of bright, the teacher cannot say unbright. You get the idea?
Yes.
You have to use, you can say he's not very bright.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
just change it into a negative. Just say not bright. Very is optional. If you want to say very, okay. If you don't, no problem. You can say he's not bright. That's okay.
Okay.
All right. The last
Yeah.
point, they're telling you that the prefix un, we can sometimes use it even for verbs to give us the opposite verb. So like lock, unlock, lock, unlock, or pack, unpack. So pack your bags before you travel. You pack your bags. It means you get your bags ready, right? You put your clothes
Yes.
and your things. So this is packing. You pack. Of course, when you reach your destination, you reach your country, the new country, or wherever you're going, you open the bags and you unpack. You take out the clothes and the things, right? So you can say pack, unpack.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the point. And of course, you can notice that un is the most common prefix. They use it in many adjectives, many words.
And M, they didn't talk about M. Yes, M. Yes, impatient. Yes. Old prefix. Yes. P.
Yeah, impatient, impolite, impossible, all of them with P.
But this, they didn't. He didn't tell us about this.
Yeah, there's no clear rule
There
with
isn't
this.
any rule for this.
Yes, you're right. There is no clear rule.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of them come with practice. When you use them a lot, or when you see them a lot in
Yes.
sentences, you start doing them, I think, automatically from use. I think you get
Yes,
used to it.
because I know this word. The word is automatically. Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know this rule. Maybe this rule is easy than kept these words.
Yeah, maybe this can help, this rule. For me, I do the same thing as you. I do them automatically. The rule is new information. Usually rules, they are good to explain things, but they are not very good to explore things. Do you get the idea?
Yeah.
I think many students use grammar in a wrong way. They use grammar to try to talk, but I think that's not the right idea. Maybe it's better to think of grammar as an explanation, not as you shouldn't think of it when you speak. This is my point. When someone speaks,
Yes.
don't think of grammar. Learn it
Yes.
and do some exercises so it becomes automatic. So when you speak, you do it correctly, grammatically correct, without thinking of grammar. Because if you're thinking of grammar, first of all, you will not be able to speak fluently.
Okay.
This is one thing. And this means you haven't done enough exercises. So the idea, the more exercises you do, the more workbook you finish, when you speak or when you write هتلقى روحك تدير فيها من غير ما انك تفكر في الجرامر هذاك لانك من كثر ما تمرنت عليه it becomes sort of automatic. You don't think of it. وهذه الطريقة اللي احنا لأي متكلم باللغة الأولى. هلا احنا لما ندوي بالليبي بالعربي هل نخمم في النحو؟ آخر حاجة نخمم فيها ما نعرفوش حتى شنو هو النحو هنا. ندوي وخلاص. لا but when we study grammar على الأقل يعني في الفصحى لما ندوي هتلقى اللي كنا نقوله فيه الذي كنا نتكلمه باللغة العربية الفصحى سنجده في كتاب النحو مثلا. هتلقى كل التعبيرات هذه you'll find them. The same thing with English. So grammar is good for explanation, for practice, but I think you shouldn't think about it when speaking. Okay, so I think we can do some exercises there. Let's see. No, I think we need to go more back. Oops. We did this. Okay. All right. What do you say we have a little break first, Malak, for prayer, and maybe we can come back in 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
All right. So I'll see you in a bit, and we can start. We can do a little bit of listening, maybe for here for stress, number 5, and then we have another story from the soap opera. Okay. So I have some listening. So let's pray and come back.
Okay.
Okay.